be seeing the bands from the ET, and we'll probably be seeing something like the Zuzhan, the Hilda. And yes, it is the Hilda that will be taken out first. And the responses, what are your thoughts?
I feel exactly just as you expected Bal to do. So there's a Hilda ban coming in as well as a Zushin. I feel Matilda and Bruno and maybe some of the highly annoying heroes like Khalid maybe or some assassins like CEO. Let's see what they do. But I do feel like Matilda should also be prioritized for the first round of bans.
You are right on that because the Matilda with the circling eagle plus the guiding wind gives up so much opportunity for teams to, play those bruiser comps with the engage and disengage potential that it brings to the table. And yeah, the Bruno is such a menace right now. I think it is one of the strongest gold laners with the highest contention rate from either teams, either constantly banned out or picked up, so a reasonable pick from their side, an
Yeah.
option. Again, instead, I think ET chooses to restrict the options that ABM has on the roam, and they choose to take out the chip instead. While on the other end, the Matilda is the response from ABM. That's already three roamers taken out in this first six bans of this draft, and we've not even completed the draft yet, which is pretty impressive to see. I guess both the roamers are getting a lot of respect because they know the capability of both Apex and Art on that role.
Yes, I feel like these are pretty wise decisions because that teleportation comes in really handy as well as very annoying. And a sudden wide walk onto like four people. Like although it is kind of a double-edged sword because like even the enemies can use it, but at the same time it is better off at the band section. So well, that is completely valid and look at that. So Bruno has also been taken down because the Malefic gun patchworks at the latest updates, it's doing really wonders for him.
Fair point on that. Like that Malefic gun is just kind of revamp that hero altogether. We saw Bruno not being picked up at all in the previous series. To now, it is, I think, the arguably the most contended in this meta so far. Maybe the only hero that could come to a close second to the Bruno would probably be surprisingly the Beatrix, or maybe it could be the Claude or the Nathan. But otherwise, nothing else comes close. But in terms of the EXP lanes, I guess Apex and Team have kind of understood they've restricted enough options, and their last ban would be the Phoveus, who is once again, in my opinion, the strongest EXP laner. Maybe not as an individual laner, but rather the impact he brings to the team fight with the chaotic energy and the way he slams the monolith and interrupts teams. But it is Art right now who will set the tempo for ET by picking up the Hylos, and the glorious pathway is hoping to lead his team to a victory in this game one.
Now, Halos is a really good pick because he's being pretty flexible right now. Although, knowing art, I feel like Halos might be a roam pick for them. But like right now, we know he can also be part of the EXP. The Ring of Punishment coming in with the slow, that is also a pretty annoying thing. So look at that. So we have the Avatar of Guardian coming in with the Crimson Ninja. Hayabusa has also been selected. Now, coming up at the first pick as a jungler, that is a little bit of a surprise because I did not expect that. Hayabusa is a good pick, but first pick, I feel like he might be countered a bit.
Hmm. That is, yeah, like they could end up taking up the Minsitar, but I think that is quite unlikely. And the thing is, Hayabusa, you can counter him out, but he kind of prevents the hero pool that eliminators can bring to the table, especially for Bid, because he cannot use the Farsa as, comfortably, even if he does pick it up, which would be risky. Because the Hayabusa shadow kill is always ready to, hunt down the unsuspecting bird that Farsa is, because she does not have any escapes apart from a flicker, which is not easy to use every single time in a fight. So yes, Bid has been kind of forced onto picking up that Eve. We're not sure if it's going to be Crisis playing it for now or if it's just a swap. But Serrar Mon will be picking up the Ling, confirming the mid trio from the side of ET, unless they take Hylos to the EXP lane.
Now that is a really interesting option because Link has really high mobility, whereas Eve doesn't exactly have mobility. Although the Void Blast does help her gain some, but look at that, Apex going with the Valentina. So those real world manipulations are gonna be thrown right back at ET. Now this is a really interesting option because I see a lot of shopping options in for Valentina, the real world manipulation, the Tempest of Blades, the Glorious Pathway. So well, she does have a lot of choices. But moving on to the second ban phase, I feel like maybe Beatrix might also be restricted or and okay, there was no ban.
Oh no, there is a ban. It's gonna be the Harith. And yeah, the next gold laner apart from the Bruno and Nathan, these are the top three in the gold lane so far in terms of contention and the win rate with relation to the pick rate so far. So yeah, the Bruno Harith really strong. Both the matchups have been taken out. Apex takes out ABM takes out the Harith, ET takes out the Bruno. There's a lot of respect for each side. They know that Radium does prefer the Bruno. You can't leave it open for him. But the Moscow is still open. It's a very good option for either team. They could choose to pick up the Moscow instead, because that is one of the neutral marksmen that can scale really well, unless they choose to give up the Beatrix to either side. But no, the fourth ban is going to be the Tigreal. What are your thoughts on that? Was the Tigreal a necessary ban with the comp that ABM is running right now?
I feel like they cannot pick a Tigreal because the implosion will be rightly copied by Valentina. At the same time, they don't want them to have Tigreal either because although Tigreal is not that much of an issue for Ling, but whenever Ling is landing with his Tempest of Blades, a good Sacred Hammer can disrupt his skills. So I feel like that is okay, but Beatrix was someone I expected, but look at that, Nathan has also been taken out. So they are actually narrowing down the golden options for both the teams because, well, not only are they restricting the options for ET but also themselves. So I'm really interested to see, are we gonna see, maybe Lunox? Okay, no, maybe Melissa or maybe an Earthel.
And yes, it is a Moscow ban instead. That was a little expected coming out because if they leave the Moscow open, that's going to be a lot of CC on the side of the team of ABM. So it was a necessary ban for them. But they have left the Beatrix open, which Radium has made for a lot of seasons. It's one of his best heroes on that role. And yeah, the Beatrix is open, but no, it's gonna be the
Oh,
Granger. A very,
that
very
is
interesting pick.
interesting.
A very, very interesting pick coming up. The revamped Granger has been making a lot of waves in multiple tournaments throughout MOBA 5v5. But yes, the Granger in the gold lane is not something we usually see because of how hard it is to hit the skill shots in major team fights compared to regular attack speed marksmen. But if this hero can scale well, enhance its energy to as many stacks as it needs, this could turn the game around with Anti. If he scales right with the Sky Piercer or the conventional build, they could turn this game around into something else altogether. But what is the response from the side of out of ET? Because I think they still have to keep their roamer open, so they might go for something like a Cho because it could be easy to pick up the Granger. They could also probably pick off the Hayabusa if he dives in and does not ult instantly. And yes, it is the Cho and the Erithiel. What are your thoughts on this lineup from both sides, Miko?
I feel like Earthel kind of I expected that because when you told last time about Moscow, I was just thinking that the Spear of Misery can actually disrupt a lot of skills. So he might be banned, and this is exactly what I was telling that I would have expected a Beatrix, but I was also thinking that Beatrix might be left open. But the fact that they will not even be picking her was a surprise. But at the same time, Granger is doing really well because the Rhapsody and the Rondo combo coming in, like the cooldown of Rondo is going down so fast. And he has a lot of mobility right now. So maybe he can easily escape from the Tempest of Blades and they are confident about their skills in that hero. While Erythel is doing recently pretty good and she is one of the contenders against Bruno, like the Malefic Gun and the crit build going on to her. While Cho is something you did expect to see, I also feel that Chow is someone who will be given an extra skill for Valentina to be copied. So, well, let's see
Hmm.
how well that plays out.
Fair, fair. It could be quite crazy to see how these comps go, but the draft is set, and now we will be heading into the land of dawn. It is gonna be the game one of this day two. ET versus ABM. Who will take home that win that will give them an edge over the rest of the top 10? What are your bets so far, Nico? Whose draft do you think will have the edge in the early game?
That's a real tough question, but I feel with the primal force and like maybe ABM has a better chance at the early, but at the same time, maybe Chow and Link could do a good combo. But Irithel will take a little more time to scale up, whereas Granger has the ability to rotate as well as provide a lot more damage. So let's just see how the team fights go, but I would still say ABM might have the better hand at the early.
And right now, both teams they're trying to hover around the litho, but I guess it's gonna be ET that's picking it up. Ryu does not get to reach in time, but is gonna move down towards the bot side, trying to hit that level 4 as soon as possible, and we might get to see some action at the goal lane as Art and Apex will disengage for now. Ooh, Ryu.
Oh,
Already Ryu picking up the first blood with a beautiful shadow and the OEG shadow kill. But right now he is caught up, nowhere to escape as the Yves will give up the kill to Serar Mun as both the junglers are at a 1-1 with Ryu taking out the edge. But the retribution is going to be used along with the Tempest of Blades. The taunt is up. Serar Mun dashing in left and right. But the damage is not enough to pick up anything so far. Both teams forced to disengage as the turtle will be up in the next 10 seconds.
and this is a question whether that was a good move or not because Ryu did get an early kill, but he also died. So like that is a little bit of delayed farm onto him. Whereas Saramon just got a kill, so his gold should be ahead of Ryu right now. But well, he did secure the kill onto Chao. So a hyper on a roam. I wouldn't say the best bet.
But at the same time, there is the first of blood benefit that Ryu did get. So, but look at that, already the glorious pathway is going to be used up. The shadow kill once again, taking out Bade as Art forced to disengage with a sliver of his HP. Abhi picks up the last hit onto Legend, and that's 2 kills on favor of ABM as they will confidently be taking up this turtle. Nobody nearby to try to contest. Seran Moon wants to pick up something, but the Earth Shatter plus the Earthquake is going to pop him down really low. He only has his Tempest of Blades, not going to be able to reach in time as a retribution, allowing Ryu and team to pick up the first turtle of this game. A good start for ABM already.
Definitely. As you can see, like Valentina is almost level 6, whereas Eve is just level 4. So the primal force passive of her is like she gets extra XP like whenever she's dealing damage.
Mm.
I
And
feel
look
like
at
these
that.
things like, oh, what is going
Uh,
on?
no, I mean like, look at the way Radium and team, they're actually kind of stealing the jungle completely from the bot side, leaving nothing for Serad Moon to actually rotate for. Look, his entire jungle is empty right now, apart from that blue that's just coming up.
Exactly, this is what I said. Like their composition is better off at the early. Like I expected like Radium to be giving in some rotations because he does have a lot of mobility with his skills. But it was actually, Crisis giving the rotation at the mid lane. But at the same time, Granger did manage to take up a lot of farm.
Ooh,
So
on the top side, there is a pincer. Antique's caught in a very low, disgustingly unsafe position. But look at that, the Tempest of Blades is there. Bid is also once again gonna fall, but he has his teammates. Looks like that bait was perfectly set up by Anti Mage, who was able to lure the unsuspecting members of TT into another kill as Bid will fall for the second time this game. The OEG Shadow kill used up once again as Art will fall. The mid duo, Art and Bid, really struggling in this game, giving up 4 kills to the side of ABM already.
Now that is a lot of damage coming in from Ryu onto Art, although Art is the roamer. I do wonder what kind of build they are having right now.
Ooh, Crisis trying to dodge in left and right. The bike allows him to make those plays. Look at him trying to escape for as long as possible, but that will not be enough as Radium, with that last bullet, will send Crisis back to the respawn. As he himself will have to send, as he and his teammate Abhi will have to go back to base. But so far, the goal lead firmly in favor of the side of ABM.
Now this is exactly what I was talking about. I feel like Valentina is also dishing out a lot of damage, and Oogie Shadow Kill is here, but the turtle goes to Ling.
And the Tempest of Blades is going to be used up. They're going to go dive in for more, but he is stuck in the middle as anti-mage, picking up a double kill for himself. He will go along with the invade as Ryu, picking up the blue buff for himself. The mid lane wants to get sieged out. The AOG used up defensively by Apex. Ryu still wants some more. He is still diving in. Look at the aggression coming out from the Hayabusa. And that is what happens if you let the jungler of your opponent scales so much in the early game. He's gonna walk like he owns the map.
Now this is exactly what is happening. I did expect that Hylos might be traded off as the EXP laner, and they did pick up Chow in order to counter. Ooh, look at that. The Ring of Punishment and Law and Order being used so beautifully. The Glorious Pathway used to slow him down, and Edith has been taken down. But I just feel like Edith does not have enough value to be taken down right now because the gold is not exactly balanced yet.
That is a fair point because that's just an XP lane at the end of the day. But at this stage of the game, any shutdown is a good shutdown for ET. They have to stop the tempo of ABM somehow. Otherwise, if the engine builds up steam, the war machine of ABM is going to be very, very hard to stop. But luckily, ET, is there gonna be a play in the mid lane or will the team just disengage? Yes, there is gonna be a play as Art using up Tempest of Blades being used up defensively by Abhi with the I am you. The fight is still not going anywhere just yet. The AOG does not connect. The way of the dragon used up, guaranteeing a kill onto anti-mages. Abhi using up as Bid uses up his ultimate to provide the team the zone they need. But Ryu once again very sneakily picking up a kill onto the Hylos. This man is
Oh,
skilling really well.
that was a good steal. Link was denied his blue buff by Granger, so well, Granger gets the blue buff, and Link is gonna have some issues with his energy.
And Mako, it is not a
Alrighty,
fun game for Sarat Moon, man. Like he is
completely.
really
He's
struggling
not
in the
having the
jungle.
best day.
Like
Look at
Anti is
that.
feeling
He's
his
not even
creeps.
dying. Exactly. Like he's 101. He's not doing bad, but at the same time, he's not having the best day of his life.
Exactly, he's at level 10, while Ryu, on the other hand, is moving towards his level 13. Radium picks up the turret on the top side as they want to collapse onto this mid game because this is something that ABM does prefer. They will split your attention onto the side lanes. If you do not go and provide them the support that's needed, there will be a fight. And let's look at that. Another beautiful kill picked up as Art will fall again on the top side. Saran Moon trying to pick up a kill onto Radium. Will it be enough for them to get the kill? No, he is popped down really low, forced to back off. But his teammates are there. Look at that. Abhi with a flicker in, stopping down Legend from escaping. But he is a little too tanky to let that happen. But once again, Bit caught out. And this is what happens. ABM will try to split the fight of your front line will go towards the side lanes to clear and defend as your vulnerable mid lane gets exposed. And they try to take the objective, whether it be a buff or the turret. And they've succeeded in doing that right now.
The taunts coming in and markings, like they're doing a fair job of marking the hero. Because I every time see high levels and them being chased after by Valentina or others. At the same time, I see Hayabusa marking on to bid, like a non-mobile hero against Hayabusa. Like that is an easy understanding who is gonna kill whom.
And look at that, already ABM has all hit their power spikes, their first two item power spikes. So now they're rotating in groups of four. always near each other, not too clumped up that there's a scope of them getting caught out, but enough that there's always backup ready. Radium there with the shots hitting really hard. The glorious pathway is going to be used up. Abhi still holding on to the Eve's ultimate, not going to use it just yet. Meanwhile, Radium clearing out, accumulating as many stacks as possible. The four people of ABM always roaming together, letting Ryu clean up the top side at the same time jungle fairly.
He does have a lot of mobility, so that also makes sense. And he's getting free minions. So extra gold onto Hayabusa means that he's gonna have a good scaling right now. And as I said, Granger doesn't exactly depend upon his items because he's like a physical mage. And look at that, he already got his malefic roll. So there's a lot of damage and penetration coming in from both of them because Hayabusa and Granger, both of them have the required items right now.
Okay, and look at that. Abhi already using up the IMU ult to zone out the members of ET. They really want to take this Lord fight, but unfortunately, the minions, which have been staggered really well on the top side by ABM, will begin to crash midway into this team fight. And that's the thing. ABM knows they can drag this fight for as long as possible. But look at that, the high OG shadow kill being used up, the flicker being used up defensively to cancel it out. But the godlike is picked up by the jungler. A double kill for Radium as Serrar Moon will fall. Will it be a triple? Yes, it is. It's a maniac from Radium as he takes down Crisis to secure this achievement in the match one. This man has been unstoppable. He has picked up so much on the stacks of the Sky Piercer, got all that pen. Look at that. He's got the Hunter Strike, he's got the Hepta, and the Malefic Roar.
And that is a complete penetration build going in with the Sky Piercer. Like that just explains how he got the Maniac. Like that was a sad thing he did not get the Savage because that was completely possible as well. But at the same time, as I was saying, like every time I saw Hayabusa marking onto Eve properly, so like they had a division of labor of dealing damage and marking heroes, like Valentina completely onto Hylos, terrifying him, providing the anti-heals and everything like that was completely coordinated and staged. So all the synergy coming in, the division like who has supposed to split push and when they are going to have the team fights, all five of them remain together or four of them on one side of the map and Hayabusa doing the split push onto the other side. The farming, the rotation, everything coming in so smoothly. That was a well
And
played match.
yeah, I think that was a very, very clinical execution coming out from the side of ABM, and ET was just not able to handle the. I think that one mistake in the early game where, Ryu just instead of choosing to gank bid, he just started fighting and picking off art in the early game because the Cho is very squishy without building damage, without building defense, unlike the conventional tanks. And he exploited that really well, and that power spike just allowed them to snowball really hard, and Crisis never got to hit his late game.
Yes. Like as you can see, Art went for the magic defense as his first priority. Like the tough boots for the fortitude as well as a radiant emblem. Like he was really susceptible to the Ogi Shadow Kill. And that is exactly what Ryu took like of the benefit from. So as I said, like that was really good marking and stuff.